The step is 4 inches tall. It has been 4 inches tall for 30 years, and nobody in the house ever thought about it until the day a wheelchair arrived. Now that 4-inch step is a wall between a person and their own front door, and the family is standing in the driveway, measuring it with a tape measure, searching for a ramp on a phone, with no idea what separates a $200 ramp from a $2,000 ramp because they all look like the same piece of metal in the photograph. A wheelchair ramp is not a sheet of aluminum. It is the structure that carries a 300-pound power chair with a 200-pound person in it, up an incline, in the rain, over the seam between the ramp and the porch. If the hinge flexes, the surface slicks, or the rating was measured for a person and not for a person in a machine, the chair rolls off the edge with the person in it. Here is what nobody says out loud about wheelchair ramps. The two numbers that determine whether a ramp works or fails are the weight rating and the slope ratio. The weight rating on a cheap ramp is printed for a person in a manual wheelchair, and a power chair with an occupant weighs 400 to 500 pounds, which is more than most portable ramps are rated for at full length. Every ramp rating drops as the ramp gets longer, because the same aluminum has to carry the same load across a longer unsupported span, and the listing never shows the chart. The slope ratio is the rise over the run. Industry standard is 1 inch of rise for every 12 inches of ramp, which means a 4-inch step needs a 4-foot ramp, and an 8-inch step needs 8 feet. A family buys a 4-foot ramp for an 8-inch step because it fits the trunk, and the resulting slope is twice the standard, and a power chair climbing it is 1 caster away from tipping backward. Neither number is explained in a listing. Both are the entire product. Here are 10 wheelchair ramp brands worth buying in 2026, and 3 that everyone gets completely wrong. Number 10, Silver Spring. Silver Spring is the value brand that delivers honest aluminum at the bottom of the price range. The Silver Spring folding ramp is a 2-panel hinge design with a weight capacity of 600 pounds, which is rated for a power chair with an occupant, not just a manual chair. The surface is a welded mesh that sheds water instead of pooling it, and the hinge uses a continuous piano hinge rather than spot welds. The tell is the hinge. A folding ramp carries its load across the hinge line every single time it is used, and a piano hinge distributes that load along the entire width. Spot welded hinges concentrate the load on 4 points, and 4 points is where folding ramps fail. Number 9, Drive Medical. Drive is the largest home medical equipment manufacturer in the world, and its single fold ramp is the one that hospitals send home with discharge patients. The ramp is a single piece of aluminum that folds in half lengthwise and carries like a suitcase, with a weight capacity of 600 pounds and a surface of extruded tread that grips in the rain. The tell is the discharge channel. Equipment that hospitals hand to patients is equipment that hospitals trust with liability, and no hospital hands a family a ramp that folds under a power chair. Drive ramps are the ramp the medical system itself uses, and that endorsement is worth more than any review. Number 8, Prairie View Industries. PVI is the American manufacturer that builds more ramps than anyone in the country, and every ramp is tested to a 3x safety factor, which means the ramp is rated to hold 3 times its stated capacity before failure. A PVI ramp rated at 600 pounds broke testing equipment at 1800. The company builds portable ramps, modular ramps, and van ramps, all in the United States, and the welds on a PVI are continuous, not stitch welded. The tell is the safety factor. Any brand can print a rating. The brand that tests to 3 times the rating is the brand that knows exactly where failure is, because they have been there on a testing machine, and they built the margin between the rating and the failure into every unit. Number 7, Easy Access. Now, Easy Access built the pathway ramp system that became the modular ramp standard, and its gate system is what installs at homes where the rise is too high for a portable ramp. A modular ramp is a set of platform sections, legs, handrails, and brackets that bolt together into a permanent structure without pouring concrete. For a rise over 12 inches, a modular ramp is not an upgrade, it is the code, because ADA guidelines require the 1:12 ratio plus landings, and no portable ramp ships at 10 feet. The tell is the handrail system. A modular ramp with integrated handrails is a system engineered as a whole, and Easy Access has been engineering that system longer than anyone. Number 6, National Ramp. National Ramp is the brand that builds the wood core aluminum ramp, an aluminum extrusion frame with a treated wood deck surface, which is the design that stays quiet underfoot and does not drum like a hollow aluminum ramp in the rain. The surface grip comes from the wood grain itself rather than a textured coating that wears smooth. The tell is the surface. Aluminum tread grips when new and slicks as the texture wears, and a wood core deck holds its grip for the life of the structure. For a permanent home installation, the surface that does not wear out is the surface that does not become the hazard. Number 5. Roll-A Ramp. Roll-A Ramp is the North Dakota company that invented the rolling ramp, a modular aluminum ramp that coils into a cylinder the size of a suitcase. Each section is an extruded channel that connects to the next with a hinge, and the entire ramp rolls up for storage or transport. A 12-foot ramp that rolls into the trunk of a sedan is the ramp that travels, and for a family that needs a ramp at 2 houses, the rolling design is the only portable option at that length. The tell is the length. No folding ramp ships longer than 8 feet, because a folded ramp longer than 8 feet does not fit in a car. Roll-A Ramp solved that limit by changing the geometry, and the family that needs 12 feet of slope in a sedan has exactly one option. Number 4. Handi Ramp. Handi Ramp is the Illinois manufacturer behind the suitcase ramp line, and its signature feature is the self-adjusting lip. The top of every ramp has a transition plate that lays flat on the threshold and flexes to the exact height of the step, which eliminates the gap between the ramp and the porch. That gap is where casters catch and where chairs pitch forward, and a lip that self-adjusts removes the most dangerous inch of the entire installation. The tell is the transition. The seam between the ramp and the landing is the point of maximum risk on every ramp in the world, and the brand that engineered that seam to flex and lay flat is the brand that understood where the accidents happen. Number 3. Prairie View Industries on track with handrails. The on-track system is PVI's premium line, with a weight capacity of 850 pounds, full-length handrails, and raised side edges that keep a chair on the deck even if the driver misjudges the line. The 850-pound rating carries a bariatric power chair with an occupant at full modular length, which is the load that folds lesser systems. The tell is the edge. A raised side rail along the deck is the feature that turns a near miss into a non-event, and no listing photograph shows it, because the photographs show the ramp empty. A ramp with edges is a ramp built for the moment the wheels go where they should not. Number 2. Accessible Systems. Accessible Systems builds the custom aluminum ramp networks that wrap around homes with multiple rises, turns, and door landings, and their engineering is the reason a complex installation passes inspection the first time. Turns need landings need to be 5 feet square, thresholds need a specific overlap, and every rule exists because someone got hurt before the rule. The tell is the permit package. A ramp company that delivers the engineering drawings for the building department is a company that builds to code every time, and the ramp that passes inspection is the ramp that passes the insurance company when something goes wrong. Number 1. Easy access pathway with the solid surface deck. The single best ramp system you can buy in 2026 for a permanent home installation is the Easy Access Pathway modular system with the solid deck surface. It combines everything this list has taught. An 800-pound rating that holds a bariatric power chair at full length, a solid deck surface that does not drum or pool, integrated handrails on every section, self-supporting legs that adjust to any grade without footings, and a modular design that expands, relocates, or resells when the need changes. Easy Access builds the frame, the deck, the rails, and the legs as one engineered system, which means every component is rated with every other component, and the system warranty covers the whole installation. When a person in a 400-pound machine trusts a structure to carry them up 4 inches of rise in the rain, the brand with the 3-decade installation history, the system-level engineering, and the solid deck is the safest choice. Those are the 10 worth your money. Now the 3 that everyone gets completely wrong, because a ramp is judged by its rating chart far more than its listing price. First, the telescoping track ramp for under $100. Everyone sees 2 telescoping channels that extend to any length for $90 and assumes it is a deal. Here is what you are actually buying. 2 extruded channels rated for a manual chair with a rating that drops below 300 pounds combined the moment they extend past 6 feet, and a stopping mechanism that is a spring pin in a drilled hole. A power chair that weighs 400 pounds with its occupant rolls onto an extended track rated for 280, and the channel deflects under the load. There is no chart, no warning, and no company to call after the incident. The rating on a ramp is not a number. It is a curve, and the curve drops with every inch of extension. Spending the least on the structure that carries a machine up a slope is exactly backwards. Second, the plywood ramp built by a neighbor. Everyone knows someone who is good with tools, and a sheet of plywood and 2x4s looks like a ramp waiting to happen. Here is the trap. A code ramp is 1 to 12, with landings, edges, and a surface that grips in the rain. A neighbor ramp is whatever slope fit the afternoon, with no edges, and plywood that slicks to ice the first time it is wet. The first rain turns the friendly favor into the most dangerous object attached to the house, and the homeowner's insurance does not cover a structure that was never permitted. Buy the neighbor a dinner, and buy the ramp from a company that tests to 3 times the rating. Third, the one everyone writes off. The threshold ramp. Yes, the tiny rubber wedge that costs $20 and everyone dismisses because it is not a real ramp. Here is what people miss. Most falls with mobility equipment do not happen on slopes. They happen at transitions, the 1/4-inch lip of a sliding door, the 1/2-inch edge of a shower pan, the inch rise of an aging porch. A threshold wedge removes the transition entirely, and the device with no moving parts, no rating curve, and no installation never fails, never flexes, and never needs a permit. For every 4-inch rise that needs a real ramp, there are 10 1/4-inch rises in the same house that need a $20 wedge, and the family that buys the wedge for every threshold has eliminated more falls than the family that bought the ramp for the porch. The tell is that every accessibility contractor carries a box of them, because the oldest fix in the industry is still the one that works. Judge the rating chart, not the photograph. Buy the brand that tests to 3 times the stated capacity, and when a person in a power chair rolls up a slope in the rain, never buy the ramp whose rating was printed for a wheelchair that weighs half as much as the machine carrying the person you love.